talk? Who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
I see what
You
you
see
did.
what I did there?
Yeah. Yeah. It's good
Hey,
stuff.
everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday Night Delight. That is Breaking the Mold. I forgot to put my flannel on, and it's really cold in here. I just want to let you know.
Uh-oh.
I don't have a little kitty cat to keep me warm. Not that Gary needs to be kept warm in Florida.
Gary just wants to show us balls.
I know, right? I have to be careful.
Yep. We're getting an up the shorts view from Gary.
Twig and berries.
We'll
Twig.
fix that here. No one needs to see that.
Gary, is that T-shirt Triumph like for Triumph motorcycles?
It was, or it is, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that their logo was a tiger or something.
I don't think it is.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right.
Right.
Well, as you can tell, we are down our Puerto Rican contingent tonight. So it's nothing but a bunch of white guys, and Dom's afraid to show his face.
Yes.
Always
That's so disgusting.
hiding behind your computer.
Yes.
Keyboard
Jose.
warrior, you.
I can live with myself better.
Jose and Dave are on assignment. So, yeah, that kind of stinks. I was hoping to talk to them today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do we do here? We go around the yard and we see what's new. You know what, Gary? I'm gonna start with you while your hands aren't full. Or maybe I shouldn't. No? Alright. Let's start with JD.
Whoa. Whoa. Well, first off, hello everyone. Welcome to Tuesday night on Breaking the Mold. We are very happy to have you all with us. Now we can bow our heads. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was nothing much new. My neck hurts a lot from being in this position, drawing.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
Chan tells us that you guys are tearing the house apart. and
Yes,
getting it back
absolutely.
together?
Yep. We were supposed to have some visitors this weekend, and that fell through because of automotive issues and whatnot. So yeah, we started tearing shit apart, and the house is a mess. Once again.
Well,
I'm to blame because there's a lot of stuff.
it's all your stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
I mean, old old stereo systems and shit like that, just stuffed into closets, and big chests full of desk lights, and yeah, just random shit everywhere.
Desk lamps.
Mhm.
Desk lights. That's weird. You know what? I have some stereo equipment in the back of one of my closets, too.
Uh huh.
Holy shit. That has been there for a very long time.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go.
And the
Yeah, do you think you can sell that at NJCC?
maybe
Yeah.
I got like a pair of old VCRs, cassette players, like stuff for an old school tower. I got a nice receiver, and then I got another receiver that has like a full surround sound,
Yeah.
computer speakers, and you name it, old DVD
Yeah.
players and shit.
Yeah, when I think about the insurmountable task I have for organizing my toys, I think about all the other things that I never threw away. One of them being a receiver. I do have some old computer equipment. God, I
I'm sure
forgot
people collect that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's funny. I used to work at Circuit City a long time ago, and they had this. Gary, maybe you remember this. I think someone here in the realm remembers it, but they had this service called Divx.
Oh, I remember it. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
totally remember it.
And basically, you would go buy a movie. It was on a disc for $5, and then you'd put it into this special DVD player that you put in your phone line, and basically, you could purchase the movie so you could watch it as many times as you want. But basically, it was like a rental.
Yep.
You took the disc
Mhm.
home, and you could use it later as a coaster or whatever. And it never turned into really anything, but I found that I have it was a ProScan DVD DivX player
Oh, that's crazy.
that I probably spent a lot of money on, and I decided to check eBay prices for them, and people are selling them for like $12, $15. And I'm trying to think who would even buy this thing, but I don't know.
You know, it's funny that you talk about like it's technology and stuff, right? It does that because I do remember the DivX. I remember Circuit City banked a lot of their future on that program, and that was like right when DVDs were also coming out, right? And back then, you buy an old movie, like the DVD was like $30, right?
Yep.
I mean, they're pretty much across the board. Where you could, I can buy the DivX disc for $5 and watch it once or reload it, right, for more times for that. But when I was growing up, my grandfather, believe it or not, at Chicago, when VCRs were like a thing, was in that whole beta versus VHS battle. And my grandparents, they never had cable. When I was a kid, my uncles, they all had cable. So my grandpa was that guy that would like just record movies and just had this huge bookcases and bookcases full of video cassettes, all with like different movies, like 3 movies per tape. And he'd never watched most of these himself. He'd watch like the same 5 movies over and over again, but just I kind of almost enjoyed collecting it and have my people record them off of cable and stuff like that. But my point was, when he passed, I was helping my grandmother clean out a whole bunch of stuff, and he had probably, I don't know, like 3 dozen brand new beta movies, like store-bought movies, right? So he had like the first Beverly Hills Cop and like Patton, right? He had like 3 copies of Patton on beta. It was just funny to see them on the beta. So I looked them up to see, and it was like, yeah, they're like $8 on eBay. I'm like, it's not even worth shipping them. I'm like, we just threw all that stuff away.
No, not at all. My grandfather used to dub movies too. I remember one of his like shining moments. He's like, on one VHS, I have Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi all cut together with no breaks. Like, he cut the credits
right?
out
Yeah.
and everything. He's like, you can just watch
Wow.
it in one big thing, like it's one movie. It's like, you go, Grandpa.
That's pretty genius though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was very prideful. Very prideful.
that would be incentive for me to hang out with Grandpa.
Yeah.
My grandpa was a Jehovah's Witness, so he didn't believe in any of that stuff.
He doesn't believe in Star Wars.
Nope.
Oh. Not even. Did you tell him that it was a long time ago and far, far away? Like, it's still.
Didn't matter.
Damn.
No birthdays, no Star Wars, no nothing.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh well.
Yep.
What do you even do?
Hmm.
Gary, what's new with you, man? And what are you snapping at?
Oh, so yeah, if I could just try, I've got the 2 kittens in here, and they, we don't let them in this room unless we're here, and they're playing in the curtains. So I kind of just got my eyes watching on them to see if I have to scoop them up and get them out of here. So
So for the listeners, before we went
Yeah.
live, Gary is talking to his cats. He's like,
That's
if
like-
you guys don't behave, you're going to lose your
Right.
toy room privileges.
exactly.
So it's like, Gary, you can't talk to them. They don't understand you.
They are so crazy. I will just tell you, if you like, I don't know where they get their energy level from. Hold on a second, I gotta get them out of here.
They're kittens.
All right,
know.
Dom. Dom, what's
I'll be right
going
back.
on, Dom?
All right, guys, come on.
Not much.
Being crazy.
He's gonna be. He's yelling at his cats.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to Long Island this weekend, Dom?
No, I did not. I stayed here in Jersey. Went to the Wayne Toy Show
yeah?
Saturday. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that, but it was fun. Nice to see a few. Sunday I watched the Super Bowl. Went to my sister-in-law's here in Jersey, in Ocean Township, and enjoyed the game. Didn't live up to the hype, but
Never.
when do Super Bowls ever do?
They do sometimes.
Yeah, they do when Giants play. But that's when like Super
I think
Bowls
they
come.
should all take their pants off, and then because
Well, we had a streaker in this Super Bowl. I don't know. I didn't think he'd take any
Well,
clothes off,
they
but
all
he,
need-
he ran across the
they-
field.
they all should just run around without their pants on.
But what else? Yeah, enjoyed some food, some Super Bowl food, and kind of kept it low Monday. Just had a lot of work to get a catch up on. So I was debating on taking off, but I might just take off Friday, make it a 4-day weekend because we have President's Day next Monday.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for this 3-day weekend too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
It's nice.
So Tyler goes, "Did you hear what the streaker did?" No, Tyler, we did not.
No, we did not. I saw him beat a couple guys off the step, and then they eventually tackled him at the end zone. He slid into the end zone. But what did he do?
So Matt H. Beansy, because that streaker made 300,000, I'm guessing dollars. He bet in multiple places that a streaker was going to come on the field. Wow. Now that is how you get a payday.
Yep.
Mhm. So he placed that bet, and he was the streaker.
And he was the streaker. That's weird. Who places a bet? Like, I guess you could bet on anything.
Oh yeah, you could bet on anything.
You can bet that a team's going to win. You can bet that a streaker's going to enter the field. I wonder if, because he didn't make it to the end zone. I wonder if there was also, an extra, incentive if the streaker made it into the end zone. I wonder if he could have, made even more money.
He slid into the end zone. He if he was a quarterback, that would have counted as a touchdown.
Yeah.
They barked the ball at the end of the slide. So
Oh, wow. And then, it changes. Here we go. He put down $50,000 and won $700,000, and it cost him just $1,000 bail. Wow, that's crazy. That's pretty good. I mean,
sounds like he did his homework.
imagine if the Super Bowl was 2 weeks earlier, and he took all that money and bought GameStop stock.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Because the GameStop stock went up
300. Yeah, crazy.
it was like 9.4 times the original value or something like that. Dude, guy would be sitting pretty.
Hmm.
But
That's
yeah.
pretty nutty.
Wow, that's interesting. So Dom, you want to talk about the toy show? Let's talk about the toy show.
Sure.
So
The
you've
Wayne
been
Toy
to
Show.
toys. So this is the Wayne Toy Show that happened last weekend. We had a little mini meetup with the Dust Mites and the Ralphies and the Gorts and Chucks and Eric's and Jesse's, and I'm probably gonna miss somebody. I'm sure I did. I'm going around the table.
Couple new faces.
Jose was there.
The Chucks of the world.
Yeah, yeah. And the Chucks and the Doms.
Yes.
So Dom, you went to a couple of these previous, last year, right? I believe, and the ToyCon.
Mhm.
So, what's your impression of the show, in particular? Did you find anything good? I know you found Pops or something.
Yeah, I
Talk
bought some
about that
Pops.
story too.
Yeah, I gotta stop buying Pops. It's addictive, but it's just ridiculous.
So I'll go put you on the spot. So after we've all been there for a while and we decide to leave, we're gonna go get something to eat. Or we all leave the building and we're just huddled in the parking lot. By the way, Dom's already outside, and I don't see him. I call him. I'm like, Dom, where are you? And he's like, I'm outside. I'm like, I don't see you. And you're, what did you tell me? You're like, Brian, I'm 6 feet
6'4".
tall.
I'm
Just
like,
spin
just look
around
up.
and look. And I'm like, I don't fucking see you. And you're like hiding between some cars or something.
Yeah, because I was by Chuck because his car actually had a flat tire, so he was having some car issues as well. So
Yeah. And so we're all like, all right, let's leave. And Tom's like, no, 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 I gotta make one more purchase. Hold on. And so
I ran in.
he runs in.
I ran
And he's
in.
gone. I don't know how long the hell you were in there, but you were wheeling and dealing for Pops, I guess. You can tell that story. But
Oh,
by the time we see you come out, Dust is great. Because we're standing right out front next to the really long line of people waiting to get in. And he's like, ladies and gentlemen, it's Dom! And we all start clapping, and everyone standing in line to get into that place started clapping.
Yeah,
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
you know,
Oh.
the king has come.
And then Dust goes, so what'd you get? Looks in the bag. Pops! You made us wait out here for 25 minutes for you to buy Pops? And then, of course, the line started laughing again. It was
Yes.
great. It's good stuff.
All my pops. All my pop people.
So, yeah, that was the first show I had been to since ZolaCon of last year. And, you know, I've been to the Wayne Toy Show before, the old venue, and this was not that. It was like maybe 4 times as big, I'm gonna guess. Maybe 5 times as big as that old Firehouse room, if I remember correctly. And you know, I was pleasantly surprised to see some decent prices there. JD, by the way, I picked you up another Loyalist.
Jesus.
Whatchamacallit?
The Mandalorian.
Yes, another Loyalist Mandalorian. Not the Loyalist. Is the Loyalist the one with the horns? It's not the
No.
horns one.
No,
It's the regular one. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
So
I
which one
figured
did you
needed.
get him?
I figured you needed one of
horns?
those. No, the non-horn one.
Not
Okay.
you. So the loyalist.
The Loyalist. Yeah. So I picked
Yeah.
that up for you.
oh well. Thanks, Mister.
You're welcome.
You're
Um,
slow.
And let's see, and like people just had stuff for like, I mean, some people were doing like the double prices, but you know, up to like $10 more than retail for some of the stuff. Some stuff is only like $3-4 over retail. So it's pretty excited to see that. And there's no, not for the Joes though. The Joes were like, good God, man, that's nuts. Scarlet was still pulling $20 though.
Nobody likes Scarlet.
Where did people have the hard to get stuff there?
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw a
the
Viper.
Viper was
Yeah.
85, I think.
Fuck off, people! Holy shit!
To be honest, though, it was just a pleasure to be able to hold it in my hand and see it, like in
See
real
it,
life.
Yeah.
And like, I think it was EE. He was like, "You're not gonna buy that, are you?" I'm like, "No, but this is like the only chance I'll ever be able to see one." I was like, just looking at it, I was like, "Wow, it does look cool." But so it was kind of nice to see it in person. Oh, but yeah, people just asking those ridiculous prices for that stuff.
Does that show have like any of the like old loose vintage stuff to sort through?
Yeah. There was a vendor right there by the front door that had tons of like G1 loose Transformers and stuff like that.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
Joe's in bags and everything. He was right there. And the funny thing is his booth was within the ATM machine, so it was like to get to the ATM machine you had to go into his booth. It was like right behind him that he was sitting in. So I don't know whether the ATM machine was out or you know people just had to get back there to use it if they needed money.
Hey,
Ran out of
Gary,
cash.
This one had a refreshment stand.
Oh yes,
I,
it did.
I saw the Hunt's ketchup. Yeah. I was like,
But they didn't have the Heinz yellow mustard that you like.
I do like that a lot.
Do you guys have any questions about the show?
Just what was other people's demeanor like? You know, because sometimes, right? Obviously, in a non-COVID world, you know, sometimes there isn't a lot of etiquette when people are focused, right, to get to the table and look at stuff, or when they are digging and rummaging through the bargain stuff, and were people pretty respectful of each other
Um,
as far as attendees go? Was there any difference, I guess, in what we would sometimes have to fight through, like a TF Con and stuff like that? Like,
it was packed, like it wasn't like packed to the point where you couldn't move, but like there was air, like tables sometimes had a little bit more customers than usual, than others, and then you just have to wait. The vendors did their best. I think most vendors had anti-sanit,
and
hand
sanitizer.
sanitizer.
hand sanitizer.
That's
Sorry.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so like they basically there was available, and everybody was wearing face masks. It was funny because when you met your friends, like I didn't know, I didn't know who would want to hug or who would want to shake hands.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So,
Right.
I start with the hand, fist pump, and if they are welcome to a hug, I'd be more than I definitely hugged Dust because Dust wanted a hug from everybody, and it was just you just, if the door opened, you just eased into it, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, Dave's not here, but he and I were texting a little bit while you guys were at the show, and it was funny because we were trying to make each other feel better for not being able to be there. He's like, "Dude, we're not missing anything at the show. It's cold as fuck out there. Look at those guys in line." I'm like, "Yeah, but it looks like a lot of fun." He's like, "Yeah, but the toys are they're nothing special. It's kind of shit." I'm like, "Are you just trying to make us both feel better?" He's like, "Yeah, it's not working." I'm like, "Yeah, no, it definitely has a lot of the FOMO going on just because it's but I liked it, and I like hearing you guys talk about it on Monday because, sooner or later you're gonna have to either you stop living or you just give it a shot, and it was just kind of nice to see that the ROC was able to get out there and do that and enjoy it and see each other and stuff. So,
And I'm not gonna lie, like once I got in there, it's good to see people, and same thing. It's like, fuck it, I'm shaking hands and I'm giving hugs. I'm not doing the elbow thing, because at least with the people I know, because I know that they wouldn't show up if they weren't feeling well, right?
right,
Kind of
right,
thing.
exactly, yeah.
But they're the only people that I made physical contact with, on purpose. But I mean, I hand sanitized before I went in there, and basically, you never touch your face until you hand sanitize again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Gary, I was uneasy. Like I started to kind of go through the aisles a little bit, and obviously you can't stay 6 feet away from someone the whole time. And I'm glad that they were only letting a certain amount of people in there, because if the doors were open, no man, everybody would just be on top of each other.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to get through the aisles, stuff like that. We were in this back room where where that Viper was and things like that, and after a while, we're just kind of we haven't seen each other in so long. We're just conversing and we're taking up room in the aisle, and you got people trying to squeeze past us, people trying to make their sales and stuff, and I'm just like, and it's just like, what, this is I'm not supposed to be in this room cramped with a bunch of people, right now, kind of thing. So I was getting a little uneasy about that, and then, when I got back out into the bigger room, it's what I do when I go to the grocery store and everything. I see somebody coming my way, I stop, let them pass, and then I move on. But, not everybody's like that. Like when I was at the comic book shop, there's this guy intent on looking at the same books that were in my vicinity, and he's just like creeping up on me, and I was like, look, I'll be done in a minute.
Exactly.
Just stay the fuck over there.
Don't shuffle through my box.
Kind of thing. But
So what about like the parts bins? How was that handled? You know what I mean? Like people that had bins full of stuff that you had to dig through. Like how did that work?
There wasn't much of bins. Like I seen the bins. Like there people had bins, but like it wasn't like some bins were just filled with sealed stuff where it's just a $10 bin here, whatever's in there is $10, and people if they were interested to dive in, they would dive in. But like I don't think. I think if there was one person at the bin, I think from my perception, what I saw is that they just took their time, and then when they were done, the next person, if anybody was interested in diving in, they would dive in.
So like no gloves or anything like that.
No, like there was, like I said, there was hand sanitizer, and I know, like I saw one person who went into a bin, sterilized his hands before he went in, and then after he hit it, hit it again after he left, and from what I saw, but there wasn't I wouldn't say there was a lot of bins to go through. Like I know I saw some, but there wasn't it wasn't to the type of when we went to like RetroCon or
like NJCC sort of
NJCC thing, where there's like tons of bins of stuff,
Yeah, it's like bins of GI Joe parts and
vendors did a good job. Like vendors who I know the vendor up front who was selling some of the G1 stuff, and he had everything like baggies, so you didn't have to touch the toy itself. It was in a bag, and
that's actually a good idea. Yeah.
Granted, you're still touching a bag in plastic, but he had everything in baggies, so he did a good job. I can see him throwing all that shit in bins, but he had enough space in the table to put it all out, and they were all in the separate baggies and stuff like that.
That's interesting. I never really thought about that, like all the touching of all the things, because when this whole thing first started, I was wiping down my groceries and shit, but it's like after a while, it's like I'm not fucking doing this anymore. It's it turns out it's more airborne than it is like the whole physical contact thing, right? But I never thought about like all these people that bring this stuff to these shows. It doesn't sell. Everybody's got their dirty mitts all over it the whole day. Then they got to bring that shit home. It's like, just I hope you got to just park it in a corner in the room, put a sheet over it, and then don't touch it for 5 days or whatever the heck the rule was back in the day. Remember?
So if I missed it, I apologize. I was herding the two cats together to get them out of here. What would the ROC parking lot swap look like? Was there much of one, or was there not stuff to exchange for this one?
There's stuff to exchange.
It's always one of the best parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had baggies. We had goodie bags for people. I had whatever I had for whatever individual I was giving it to. I had a little bag for each person. But it was a little big boxes for me, which I greatly appreciate, and it was just a little swap going on, but nothing too crazy. It was like a really quick thing. We wanted to head. I think everybody was hungry because we wanted to head over to the pub and eat lunch because I was starving.
Yeah.
But
and that was an interesting experience. So Gort found this place is kind of like an Irish restaurant sort of thing. A lot of good food. I gotta say, I had a corned beef sandwich. I haven't had corned beef in like forever. But Gary, this is like one of those indoor dining situations, right? It's the first time ever for me in the middle of this pandemic. So it's like, it's funny. We all get to the table. Our table is, far away from all the other tables, right? Kind of thing, and like sitting at the table with my mask on, and then finally the drinks come. Like, well, at least I completed my masterpiece collection. Take my mask off and throw caution to the wind, and then that's that. And it's funny, I was looking at Jose. I was just hoping he'd be on today. We could talk about it, because he's still kind of keeping his mask up, down, and then when we left, he's like, "So is that your first time?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I think that was stupid." I was like, "No, I probably shouldn't have did that," kind of thing. But we'll see.
A lot of places around here are the same way. The people are spaced out enough throughout the restaurant. You know what I mean? That during the high point of everything, where everybody was fucking scared as shit. I went to lunch with my dad in the place that we went to. I mean, it was like not even every other booth. It was like every two booths they had open, and then as long as you wore your mask inside, you know what I mean, then they sat you and you took it off, and all the waitresses and the waiters and cooks were all geared up and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, like, I don't know. You can only do so much, but it looked like a good time. I mean, it looked like it was, like everybody had fun, and that's cool. Any surprise purchases, Dom? Did you start a new collection?
Real
Of
quick,
any
Ralph,
What's
real
up?
quick, Ralphie. So I sat next to Ralphie, and he's like he totally felt how conflicted that I was until the beer came out.
And the funny thing is that like I noticed some of you guys still had the mask on. Like I took my mask off, and I just like because this wasn't my first time at a restaurant, and like you said, Brian, like I trust these are my friends, and I trust none of us would have been here if we were sick. So like the thing is that like in a close there wasn't like other people in the restaurant weren't that very close to us. The waiter always had his mask on when he came towards us, and just being there and just making sure I didn't want to bring to anybody's attention, like I didn't want to bring up any attention to if you were wearing your mask or not wearing your mask. So at the table, so I saw like like you said, Jose had his mask on, he was taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, and I understand, whatever works for you, whatever makes you comfortable. That's kind of you let it by. You don't, I didn't bring it. I didn't call out anybody. Let them do what they do. Whatever makes them comfortable.
Yeah, well, like I said, it sounds like it was very strategic, and deliberate, and it wasn't like a reckless, get together. And it shows that you guys, that people could do it. So that's exciting. And they do that show once a month.
Yeah, they do it once a month. Yeah,
Okay.
first weekend of the month. It's not every Sunday, obviously. Now I know, because before I was going into this, I was like talking to a couple, Eric and a couple other people when playing some Call of Duty on Friday night, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll see you guys Sunday." And he's like, "Yeah, well, the convention's Saturday, so if you want to come Sunday, we'll meet you there." I was like, "Fuck, it's not Sunday." He's like, "No, it's Saturday." I was like, "Okay." I was like, I guess I'm waking up early Saturday morning instead of Sunday morning. So I did not know that. They did, like last year, they never changed it. It was every Sunday regardless, because I remember I went there when Super Bowl weekend, they had it that Sunday morning before Super Bowl. And then, obviously it closes. Like I think when they did it in the Firehouse, I think the convention was done by 3:00. 3:30. So I don't know what time this one ended, but it was good. Like Brian said, it's definitely like 2 to 3 times the size of what it used to be in the Wayne in the Firehouse that they used to have in the Firehouse. It's a little bit cleaner, a lot cleaner. I'm being nice, but and eventually when ToyCon comes, I know when they do the ToyCon NJ, they'll get the gymnasiums, because I guess they got a lot more dealers coming in, and there was actually like recreational basketball going on during the time. So there was a couple, kids basketball games going on in the gym next in the next gyms over by us, and you saw those crowds emptying out after like when I was actually walking in at 9:00, like 9:15. There was like a game, I guess, ended, and I saw like a bunch of kids and their parents walking out of the gymnasiums and stuff like that. So, yeah, things going on. Life goes on, I guess, in this pandemic world that we live in. Yeah. So, it was good. No, but Gary, with the things I found, it was, I picked up a couple like Target exclusive stuff, Star Wars, that were very close to retail. Have a funny story. That vendor that was selling those overpriced GI Joes also had some Star Wars stuff, but he had it like literally like what was it, retail value. Like I think he had a couple of the Disney exclusives, and he had the one in particular that I purchased was the the Mando Trooper. I forgot what was they used all dirty Trooper. What is it? I don't know what they call it.
The
Remnant Trooper. Yeah.
Remnant. Yeah.
So the Remnant Trooper was there, and he had it for $26. So I think that thing was going for $24.99 anyway. So
Yeah. Nice.
I bought another one of those, and the funny thing is, I bought actually two of them, and he was like, he looked at me because one person prior to me bought one. He had three of them. He bought one, and then I'm like, oh, let me just grab two because I want to army build them, and he had them right pretty much at retail. And the guys, like, I asked him if he would just do $25 each. If it's like, would you do $25, $50? So because I don't have any singles, I'm like, I'll give you $50. And he's like, sure. And then all of a sudden he comes back to me because he was going to grab me a bag, and he's like, oh, really? I really should just, I only could do 26. I need to do 26 because I totally forgot that to mark these things up. I'm selling them at retail right now. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
I forgot to mark them up.
I'm like, whatever. That's what he told me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I paid him. The what was it? The $52 instead of this.
Right, I was gonna say the extra
$50. Yeah. So
$2. I want my $2.
It adds up. I was making a purchase at one vendor's thing, and he had the Hondo, and he had that Black Widow, and I think he had the Hondo for like 35 or whatever.
yeah.
And I'm pulling out my money and he's like, nah. He gave me $5 back. He's like, because I bought more than one thing, I guess. I was like, oh wow, thanks.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask for a deal.
And there was some like really good I think I bought another. I think it was it was just like $5 over retail. So there, like Brian said, like there were certain things that were like very comfortable, like very close to retail or at retail, which I didn't mind spending the cash for that. And then
and that's a realistic approach, and no matter what's going on in the world, because someone's got to pay for the table and stuff there. And like we always say, yeah, you can buy it online or search for it in the store. By the time you add tax and shipping, right? And even when you help each other out, like friends, and you're sending it to somebody, you can get it there and just have it in hand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's pretty realistic. That's cool.
Then I also bought I never or missed out on the Amazon exclusive Dirge and what is it? Ramjet set. So some guy had it there. I asked him, like there was a couple of vendors last month that had it, but at this particular show, the ones that had it last year didn't have it anymore. So the only one vendor that did have it was the one that was kind of overpriced. And I asked him because he doesn't have prices on any of his things. So I go ahead and ask him, and he's like, "Oh, that's 180." Like I'm like, "Oh,
holy smokes!"
I'm like, listen, can you do 150? I'll do 150 if you because I see on eBay going for about 140, 150, and I'm like, would you that Ramjet and Dirge?
Do you not think it's going to come out again though? Like,
I don't know.
I know no one can predict, right? But
I never, I'm not gonna, whether I wait or not, I don't care. But at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, I'll buy it for 150. I was able to get all the other ones I missed for right at retail price. So I was like, you know what, if I have to pay over market price for one of the sets, I guess I'll be okay with that. And I made the plunge, and I spent the 150 for it because I held off more than enough time to try to get it cheaper. So
yeah, well, at least you found something you were looking for. You know what I mean? You were missing. So that's cool.
When did this come out again?
Last year, right, JD? Like I would say,
it was not even. It was like maybe 6 months ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
I know
what the hell's the world coming to? $150 for 2 figures.
Yeah.
Mainline figures.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you guys remember way long time ago? It's like 2012, 13. People were chasing down chugs on the internet for exorbitant prices, right? But usually there's a third party kit driving the
Right,
price up,
right,
or
yeah.
Mhm.
people are just discovering, getting back into the hobby, thanks to third party. People are like getting back in the Transformers again, so they're chasing down the old stuff that was out 5 years prior. But here now we're seeing stuff like 6 months. We're seeing stuff the day after it drops. Like people are charging like 4 times the amount. What the fuck's going on?
It's
Yeah.
retarded. It's
Nuts.
ridiculous.
Well, it's like, I kind of, that's what I said. If he didn't go for the 150, I was going to just walk away. But he did. He dropped it down to from 180 to 150, which I thought he wouldn't do. But so when he said yes, I committed and I bought it. And then and it's double. Like, they're Voyager size, so Voyagers are like what, $30, JD, after
Yeah,
tax?
I think that
like
I think that
$35,
on
so-
Amazon, I think that was a $59.99 set, right?
Yeah, so like I think I paid
Yep.
a little bit over double, like just a
Yeah.
tad, a little bit over, but
God damn.
But you don't
I was
know.
okay
I'm
with
That's
that.
the
hoping
thing.
it's one of those situations like because I missed that. I missed the Ironhide and
mhm.
what's his face?
Well, look at the Skywarp, right, and the Thundercracker. That was Target. Now that went to multiple places, right, on a pre-order
Yeah.
Yes.
again. So
Yeah, like it's not Skywarp, but it's like Sky Links or like Sky something other character that they put out, but it's similar to Skywarp, and it comes, it's the same cup paint color, and then I guess the two little figures are different than what the exclusive came with, but different color, I guess they said. But who gives a shit about those two little figures anyway? But like I said,
all part of the
it was,
struggle.
you save some, you pay a little bit more for others.
was there any cosplay at this show?
No, I didn't see anything unless if you saw somebody in Cambo, like Cambo pants, or you want to consider that dressing up as G.I. Joe character, but
Right,
Just some toy gangbangers
right.
that
yeah,
wearing some circle logo all over
All,
the place.
all in
yeah,
black.
yeah.
All in black.
Yeah. So, I also wanted to talk about on the way home, I decided, he's like, you know what? I wonder how far out of the way my old home where I grew up where I spent my Wonder Years was, and it wasn't actually that far out of the way. It's like 30 minutes out of the way. So I decided to go, and I'm glad that I chose this particular day to go because we just had this big snowstorm up here, and basically my house. I brought it up here. I took a short video, and it's the same color that it was when I lived there.
Oh
It's
wow.
the same color for the trim, the burgundy, and then this tan color. And like this is my bedroom window here, and a lot has changed. There's a big fence missing, and there's huge trees missing and stuff like that. But I was like, this reminds me of being a kid and basically having like 2 feet of snow on the ground, and going outside and playing in the snow and things like that. Like there's this huge. I was about to pause it on the screen share, but like you see this huge long driveway that's got 3 cars in it. Like I used to shovel that big fucking driveway all by myself and stuff
cool.
like that.
Brian, how old were you when you lived there? Approximately,
I-
like from when to when?
I lived there from when I was 3 to then I took a couple year break when I lived with my mom. Then I moved back and basically moved out when I was a freshman in high school.
Oh wow.
Basically.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's definitely your childhood growing up house then.
Yep, lots of good times down that block, and it's funny, like, yeah, I'm used to living in like this development where they plow like the whole street, right? Or when I used to live in Bayonne, New Jersey, again, where they kind of like plow the whole, but like on a street like this, basically when there's that much snow, there's one lane to get through the whole block, right? And like that just kind of brought back memories too, because you'd have to like pull over a little bit to let someone go by you and all that other stuff, and just mounds of snow everywhere. Like it was just great, and I actually like, none of my friends live there anymore. I think one of my friends' parents still live there, but just going by, it's like, oh, that's so and so's house, that's so and so's house, and seeing what's changed and stuff like that. It's good times, and I was just wondering, like, have you guys? When was the last time? Are you guys still living where you grew up? I don't think any of you are, but
Mm, I mean, it's not far. Like my
yeah.
childhood home isn't. It's not that far away.
But like, have you guys gone back to see where you've grown up, like, anytime recently or anything like that?
No.
Yeah, for me, that's back in Cleveland, in Ohio, and it was 2006. A friend of mine that I'm still friends with, that I've known since third grade, it was his wedding, and I was his best man. And the neighborhood that I pretty much grew up in there, that he lived in, his father still lived in the same house. And so, he and I were picking stuff up for the reception and stuff, and we kind of did that, Brian, where we were just, in the car and just slowly driving up, almost kind of creepy when I think about it,
Yeah.
but driving up and down all the streets and just remembering, hey, remember so and so lived in that house, so and so lived in this house. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was, what is that? 15 years ago. It was 06 was the last time I was there. And like I said, my parents are still in Ohio, but they're separate spots. One's in Toledo and one's like way south of Cleveland now. So I really don't get back there very much because I don't have much family. They usually have been coming, wherever I'm at, whether it be here or when we were in Massachusetts or in Delaware to come visit. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's funny that you bring this up, Brian, because like this past Monday, I actually went back to my childhood house, and unfortunately, when I drove by, I had to stop because I still had to fucking shovel the driveway because my parents still live there, and so that's the bummer of the joke because my parents still live in my fucking grandma's, and I still had to shovel the fucking driveway. So.
Now, Dom, did you break the shovel there too, or did you have to?
No. I did not break the shovel there. I brought the broken shovel that I broke there. So, but my dad did have other shovels, better shovels. So, I used them. And fortunately, he did not do the smart thing, like moving his car to the end of the driveway. So I don't have to shovel that far into the driveway to get him out. He was all the way at the bottom, and I had to shovel the full driveway to get him out, which was a pain in the ass. So
come on, get with it, Dad. Come on.
He's like, oh, they said that we're only at 4 to 6 inches. I thought, and I'm like, you thought wrong.
Yeah.
They changed it, Dad. When did you watch the news?
We got more coming tomorrow.
Yeah. So. But yeah, it like I've lived also in Newark, but a very small time. But there's we still own the house, so there's times I go there with my father to whether to supervise a maintenance guy who's fixing some fucking thing that broke in the house, or go there to go pick up the rent, or go over there to throw out some garbage, bulk garbage that the old lady on the second floor can't move. So it's fun going back to your childhood.
Yeah. It's funny, like down the street from there is like the hospital where my brother and sister were born. It's gone. It's apartments now, kind of thing. But like the grocery store that was there it looks like they turned it into like some kind of office space. Like I saw in the windows, looked like there were cubicle walls in there. That was weird. One of the pizza places was still there though. I thought that was pretty cool.
Now this is the place that you had a neighbor that had that caboose, that train caboose, right?
Yeah, it was a few blocks up, not necessarily a neighbor, but yeah, I did drive down that street. Yeah, I know where the caboose is now.
Yes,
we know. I
was surprised. I was surprised that you didn't swing by over there and take a look and take a picture in front of the red caboose. Yeah,
I was gonna wait, because I'll wait for the day where I go hang out at Dust,
I got you.
And go do it. It's not Dust isn't he's not right around the corner from Wayne.
No, he's not.
It's
No.
a good hour or so the other direction. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's,
But yeah, man, it was good to do that. I was kind of happy to do that. Yeah. So, Gary, we were talking before, and you were saying how, you know what, you're done the rat race of chasing down GI Joe.
I think so. Yeah, I shouldn't even say I think. I'll commit to saying it. And it's not about being negative, but I did think it was just an interesting question that with so much stuff coming and announcemements and, new lines. So like the Thunder Tank, right, for Thundercats is a good one that's really sparked interest. Or, most people know I've always liked the vehicles for different series. So that's kind of rekindled some of my thoughts maybe there. But the G.I. Joe line, like I was super excited for it, like a lot of us. I'm not a completionist, but still, I didn't care for the exclusive piece and the frustration just watching that. It slowly took away, I think, some of the excitement there. And I was just really, going to decide, I'll cherry pick a few specific characters. I've got a Zartan in my sitting in my pile of loot, at BBTS. I haven't shipped yet. And JD, I think I sent you the one Cobra Commander, and I was like, I had it on pre-order. Mm-hmm. I know you'd missed it, because I was just kind of losing, right, some of the excitement for it. So I finally decided I was done, and I canceled like my Lady J, my Flint pre-order, and it felt really good, and not like, I guess it was just one less thing to have to think about. So I was just curious if you guys have ever made a decision like that with a line where you've kind of just said, hey, either I'm not interested anymore, or the trying to keep it, completist way just was more effort than the enjoyment I was getting out of it. And did you make that choice? How did you feel doing it or after?
I mean,
I'm not a quitter, Gary.
Yeah,
well, that's fair. No, I get it.
No, I'm trying to think. There's got to be something.
I guess I was just really surprised how calming I felt, because I've done plenty of the pre-order on an impulse, maybe go back through, right, especially like BBTS, right, it's one of the easiest places to do it at, where you can have something that on a pre-order and then maybe go back through and rethink it before it hits and goes into your pile and you get charged for it. But I just happened to, for whatever reason, Amazon was where I had a couple of those other figures on pre-order, and I just nope, cancel, and it felt good. And it wasn't that I was just stopping altogether. It just was, hey, maybe I'll put my energy into tracking down some of the Thundercats, or maybe I'll really consider doing this Thunder Tank vehicle.
So before we get into Thunder Tank stuff, but
Yeah.
so Gary, you're a pretty decent GI Joe fan, and what I mean by decent, like you have a decent interest in the property, right?
I do. Yep.
Yeah,
That's actually one of
and-
my lines. Yeah.
So you were actually really excited for this then?
I was. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And were you gonna try and go completist, or basically just
Well,
at
I did.
least get
So
the ones you want, right?
You had helped me get the that first Snake Eyes I missed, and I had gotten that first wave completely, and then I didn't love some of them, and I can appreciate that the line's doing a bit of the redeco, right, on the roadblock and on the Duke and some of the coloring and stuff, but when some of the exclusives got really tough, and Tyler helped me find one figure that I wasn't able to find myself. Never saw the Baroness, and I was like, okay, I can, sooner or later they'll do her in either different deco or, by herself type of thing. And with some of the other, the troop stuff, just kind of watching people and the emotion it was creating, I was like, that takes away some of the fun too. But then seeing just some of the repaints, already, right, kind of, I don't know, it's just a combination of a lot of stuff where, I don't know, just wasn't, I didn't really have the energy, I guess, to keep putting into it.
I can see that.
So, yeah.
I can see
Well-
that for sure.
if you have troopers,
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Got the wolf already coming after you.
That's
Yeah,
right.
no, so I
Come
would have
the
done that. I
jackals.
would have done that first. So I was like, and I only had a couple. Like I said, I think I'd really gone
oh, that's
from.
right, you got it, and then you scalped it.
I go on. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that was the only one I found. But who knows, right? I probably could have held on to it, and
So it's, Gary, it is interesting. Like all the things they have been doing, it kind of is sort of something that puts hinder on the excitement. So let's think about people that are not so in depth into the culture like we are, right? So they may not be surrounded or engulfed by the negativity that comes with collecting this line due to the things that people desire that are so hard to get. Instead, they're just, oh wow, these are cool, I want to get these, right? But then they find that, why can't I find these online, kind of stuff. And then it turns out, they watch YouTube videos or something, like, wow, how come they're getting them but I can't find them, kind of stuff like that. It does hurt. And then all of a sudden you see, oh look, there's Destro, oh wait, why is he gold and dressed like a pimp,
Right.
kind of stuff. And I could see how it can kind of build excitement and also reduce people's excitement as well. And of course, for those of us that are in deep into this culture, man, you just can't escape the you're either on one side where you're one of the fortunate souls that found what you wanted, or you're the other one that takes solace or not solace, but basically wallows with your brethren, like in disgust and disappointment, kind of thing. It's kind of interesting. But do you think maybe you're getting out a little too early? Like, I have a feeling in this year we might start seeing stuff to be a little more regular. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a possibility, but I don't know. It's almost like it felt good to just, hey, I'll put my energy into a few other things, maybe, right? And stuff I don't have to like think so much, I guess, about, and I can just enjoy and have more fun with.
I say this just off what Gary said. Yeah, I definitely agree. I've talked to other GI Joe collectors that were in line for the same fucking figures, and just hearing them, and you can see that they are GI Joe fans because they never, they don't understand what is happening and why these quantities are so low and everything. And that this guy is probably a GI Joe fan. 6-inch figure, finally is getting released for GI Joe, and he wants to go and get them, and all of a sudden, it's damn near impossible to get. So there is some frustration in that, and and in that mentality of that frustration, you just forget it. I'm not gonna do this and go to Targets, and all of a sudden, they're showing 3 on the shelf before they fucking open up, and then now they open up and they can't fucking find them, and now it's just damn near impossible to find them. And then now in the secondary market, they're 4 times the value. So they're gonna just stop before they even start. So I feel bad that that's happening to some of those collectors that are really into GI Joes. But the way I feel is like, I collect. If I got into line, which I did get into line, if I missed the figure, if I missed the Viper and I never get it, I'll wait a little longer, and then like you said, Brian, it might turn up in a general release in a different, as they said, in a different color or different mold, where they come with the different accessories. Who knows? But you shouldn't really. I feel like I've been in this game for so long, and there's so many things that have been reissued when you think it was never going to be reissued, and it's like you're at least I'm very happy that I stayed in with it, because now I don't have to hump back some of those general figures that now are hard to get because they might not be in that reissue cycle with all the other variants or exclusives that still need to be reissued and stuff like that. Right. So, and we all know this from Black Series because Hasbro itself did an archive wave to kind of stop, kind of bring back some of those old figures that are demanding a very high secondary price, and it gives collectors a second run at it, and who missed out on it the first time.
Isn't that Archive Anakin now like in the same position that
Exactly.
the blue
So
line
it's
one
like
was?
it's like the window is
Uh-huh.
short. It's definitely short. It's like
Yeah.
when those archives sell out and they're gone. Those prices then to go back to where they were when the original was sold out. So for a while. So it's frustrating because I know there probably a majority of those figures that are purchased by people who are looking to resell it rather than add it to their collection because they missed it.
Mhm.
Right.
I would be interested to see how many people bought that first wave of Super 7 Turtles Ultimates that everybody missed out. Like a lot of people missed out on it and really wanted to get into the line, but you missed out on that first wave, and Raphael was part of that first wave. And it's like, do I really get into wave 1, 2, and 3, and 4 and pay, triple the price for a Raphael? And it's like now they reissued it, and it's like where. By the way, I was surprised that they did that because
Right.
these things are not supposed to be reissued, and it's like because they're made to order type of things, and they did reissue it, and it's like something that was not supposed to reissue.
I've seen interviews with him and with Flynn, you know what I mean, and he has talked about, he's like, we want to try and work something out so that people that were unsure from the beginning can still get
back
those.
into it.
Yeah. So
Which that's great, JD. But like out of all the sales that happen on those those websites like BBTS and Entertainment Earth, I'm wondering how many people bought that Raphael just to resell it, because they knew once it's sold out, they can still sell it for like $120, $130.
That's like somebody buying up all the Red Rangers on purpose because they know that eventually he'll feel the big
Exactly.
price, right?
Well,
Exactly.
down
Or
what
Green
happened with
Ranger.
the Dungeon Master for the
Same thing
for the
Same thing.
statues,
Yep.
right? I mean,
Yep.
that's
He was
not
the cheap-
anything
he was the
new.
cheapest. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. There's nothing.
But,
None of this
yeah.
is new. It's just that
right.
sometimes your original thought of helping people is not what not what really is happening. So
It's funny. I think there is a table that had the Super 7 Turtles there. Well, one of them. Anyway, Raphael had two of them. And the thing really does look nice in person. I gotta admit, it's pretty cool. But there's so many turtle options out there right now. You got the NECA, you got the Super 7, you got the movie NECA, you got Playmates has done another re-release in a different color, kind of stuff of their older ones. It's just you're all over the place. So many damn options.
I guess I was just feeling maybe there's so many things that can be competing for your money these days, right? Even just in the hobby. Like I think I told you guys several shows ago, I got into doing some Lego builds again, so I've got a few sets I haven't started to put together. But I'm kind of enjoying that because I can do it for a little while and come back to it. Like there's a few characters from the mainline Transformer stuff that are actually really fun. And yeah, I mean, there's some other stuff out there that I don't have to fight so hard, and I think it will provide the same amount of enjoyment as far as the collecting aspect of it goes, right? Even if
yeah. So Gary,
so-
and that brings up an interesting point here. So Super 7 drops a Thunder Tank, which rumors abound. How many people really think stuff like that's going to get made?
Right.
Sure enough, here he comes. By the way, I need somebody to hit me up to make sure that I pre-order that before April, whatever hits. 'Cause I haven't done it yet. A lot of people may have passed up the first two waves of Thundercats, and I believe that they were available until the day that Thunder Tank dropped, and everybody's like, "Oh!" They went out and to the BBTS of the world and got them, and now they're all sold out. So. It would be kind of nice maybe for them to do a re-release of those first couple waves just for people to be like, oh yeah, but it's so did you say you're in it just for the vehicle aspect? Is that what you said, Gary?
Well, you guys know I like the vehicles for toy lines, and I don't know, to me they're equally like a character, right, from the property. that original Thunder Tank wasn't a great toy. If you ever saw it or had it, right? It really was. It wasn't. It was small. It was nothing like in the cartoon. It's a lot like the. Remember the battle track for He-Man? Like the way it was animated in the cartoon was completely different than what the toy actually looked like.
It looked like the Mystery Machine.
Exactly. Yeah, and treads. Yeah. But no, I thought it was pretty cool looking. I was like, I haven't done it yet either, but it kind of was tempting. I think that might make a nice centerpiece, and again, something that you would never think you'd get made, right?
Yeah.
And then just I don't know. To your point with the turtles, if they can do that, I mean, that they can do a turtle wagon. That's a van. It really just unlocks like a lot of possibilities that way. So.
Yeah.
The turtle blimp. Let's do the turtle blimp.
Right, do the blimp.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely got me thinking back into the line, and you're right, you go back and I think like Lionel and Panther was sold out maybe before the tank, at least at BBTS, but once the tank hit, some of the other characters, the pre-orders were gone.
Well, I still have my Matty collector ones. Panther's never been opened, so $300 a piece, Gary. They're yours.
Yeah, right.
For a low price, $300 each.
And that Panther, we wouldn't have to change his underwear, and swap out the color.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh.
Well, I mean, if you're interested, Gary, I got a full set of them.
Oh boy.
And
Okay.
You and Eric can have a bidding war.
But that's like, and that's the thing though. Like now with Super 7, with their re-releasing the Wave 1 of Turtles, you can imagine, like they said, like with what JD is saying. Like I think they'll do some re-releases of some of those earlier sets or earlier waves for people, especially when they're piecemealing characters. Like they're not doing, all the turtles in the first wave. They're doing one turtle in Wave 1, one turtle in Wave 2, and so it's hard to complete a set when there's only I could see them doing like a Wave 5, all the turtles again,
Yeah.
just something like that would help collectors who have missed other waves and get in and acquire some of those main characters that you really would need to just have a nice set of just what can represent that cartoon that you liked.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, my only advice to people is like, if you think that you want it, find a place that you can pre-order it.
Yeah.
And if it comes down to brass tacks when it finally comes in, and you have to cancel, at least you have that option. You have You have an option to secure it, and then you have another option to give in to regret or decide to eat ramen for 2 weeks so that you can, purchase what you want, kind of thing. I don't know.
And then if you don't want it, just sell it. Obviously, it would go up in price,
Sure.
and then you can have a steak dinner at Sizzlers.
Yeah, that works. That works.
I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and just throw this out there now. Gary will probably sell his. I'm gonna give him 6 months. I'm gonna give him 6 months.
Never know. That's true.
He's gonna sell it. Guarantee it.
But it's like I said, I feel with Super 7 doing what they've done with that first wave of Turtles, I don't see them. I can't imagine them not reissuing some of those earlier sets of Thundercats or whatever Ultimates that they put out there.
A little food for thought on that Thunder Tank. Remember, all the Ultimates scale together. And you know what else scales with Ultimates? Mythics.
Yes,
So, dude,
Master
you can have a grand old time, with that Thunder Tank.
exactly.
Yeah,
No, you
all
don't
the
have to put
crossover.
Thunder Tanks
And
in your
when that
Thunder
tanks
Tank.
are rocking, don't come a knocking. You can do some crossbreeding between cat people and whatever else going on, turtles, whatever.
Have your
a
own
grand
litter.
old time. Yeah. So yeah, good times.
So what's this news about the Unicron? I'm not up to speed on this new drama that's happening. So can
Alright,
you
Dom,
guys
let's-
drop it so I can just be mad at myself for the next 2 days?
I'll revisit it here. I'll share some pics that I pulled for last night.
Oh, I didn't watch CTR either. So if that's kind of
Alright.
revealing what I did not see.
All right, everybody. So if you tuned in last night, we're going to just go over a few things from
I don't get the cliff notes.
For Dom's benefit. So Dom.
Oh no! It comes with a Japanese guy's head.
So Dom,
Oh,
here's the thing,
That
right?
thing is so fucking huge.
Look at it, I know, right? So here's the thing, like, there have been, you know how they say, what do you call it? The prototype might not match what it looks like, what you actually get, type of thing.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
so basically, yeah, you see the inside of the mouth here is orange,
Yes.
right? And then, so this is actually what it is. The this inserted here. What did they call? I've heard it called the maw, MAW. The maw is
The
not the
sphincter.
same color. It's not the same color. Yeah. And
The
another
puckered starfish.
thing, the little extra incentives for them, you know, meeting their target goals or whatever, like, are not exactly what they had shown in the renders and things like that.
Who gives a shit about
And-
that?
And then also the inside of the mouth here is not painted silver. This was silver in the original prototype. So those are the main differences I think that I've seen. But I think it's good pictures. Where's the good pictures? There we
Oh, that does suck.
Oh.
Is it more movie accurate that it's all orange in the middle?
No, I have no idea. Supposedly this is like War for Cybertron, right? So it's a little bit stylized. But
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, basically, people are, you know, of course, what the fandom's doing is calling bait and switch, you know, so on and so forth. But, you know, I am not going to jump entirely on that bandwagon, but, you know, I mean, the planet's mouth, to me, like, that was a pretty big faux pas. Like,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
it really is a drastic difference, you know, and considering you know, this thing's $575, you know, before tax, you know, that's a lot of money, people. And Transformers fans that collect mainline, I mean, they're not ones to really kind of break their wallet, you know, for some of those really higher price figs. So they bought into this campaign, right? Because they're excited, and why not be excited with what the mainline's doing, and just to kind of have them to make some changes like that. I mean, I can see why people are upset, especially. I mean, when you
Go
think
back
like,
to that. Go back to that picture that shows the gray. It doesn't look
Yeah.
good. That's the point. It doesn't.
yeah,
look good.
right? It doesn't look good. It's like, and when they say, like, you know, the prototype may differ from the end product, it's typically not that different, you know.
See, I think that actually looks a little more interesting than the other picture where it was all different shade, you know, the orange
Yeah.
is yellow together.
Yeah, the butthole stands out more.
It's a
I can see
target.
that. I can see that perspective. Yeah, you're right, Gary. It breaks up the color.
Yeah.
And where's all the all orange? Show me the all orange picture.
Still has the chips. See that? The stacks.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, it
like I
does.
said, I'm really just more intrigued with what third party is going to be doing for add-on kits. And things
Yeah, I guess I kind of agree with Gary. It does break up the color a little bit. I don't mind it now, as he says it. Yeah.
But it's funny, like, when this first rolled out, everybody loved the planet mode exactly the way they showed it to you. A lot of
Mhm.
people want to display it in planet mode, you know, things like that. And then, you know, it just kind of stinks, right? Because
So
that's a pretty significant difference. That's all.
I wonder if it was an assembly, like a decision, so that it could be assembled easier, quicker. I don't know.
I don't know, yeah, right? Because
you know
it's
what I mean?
molded,
Like, 'cause
right? This isn't paint, you know?
No,
it's-
no, I'm
it's
pretty
molded.
sure it's like all molded.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, like
Maybe-
all that
maybe-
stuff.
maybe-
Other than like some of those accents. I'm pointing at the screen. I'm pulling a dust
Maybe
here.
maybe the pieces that are gray right there in that picture, they couldn't do it in the different color plastic because it was more moving parts or something like that. I don't know. Maybe the other
Yeah,
plastic
like
is
that
more
could be too.
flimsier.
Yeah, that could be too. Could be the type of plastic they used. Not that I want to make excuses for this thing, but
Mhm.
You know,
Well, so
could have
Brian,
a
you,
lot to do with the type of plastic.
Hmm.
it's so crazy. Like I was telling you guys before the show, I watched that video that I saw with the transformation,
Mhm.
and it's so like I don't know, it's so big to like manage. You know, what kind of watching it. Are you gonna transform yours, Brian?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Got
it comes in planet mode, right?
It comes to play, yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to
Yeah, so
transform it
I-
once without
yeah.
instructions.
Once,
Get the
yeah,
full,
yeah.
get the full feel.
And
You know,
JD, did you
full
order this too?
experience.
Hell no.
Okay. I know Dave didn't. I think Jose did. So I did not. So I think we're like 50-50 as far as the panel goes.
This is the biggest mistake I ever made. However, maybe not. I was watching the Transformers Slag podcast. The Proto Man guy from TFCon. He puts up these little like, it's like shots of all for Transformers, like little quick videos. I really like consuming the content in 5 minutes. By the way, it's great. And he put something up. He's like aftermarket on eBay is like sold $1,200, $1,500, you know, stuff like that already, like sell prices, and it's like, wow, you know, there's a lot of drama with this thing, right? I mean, we tracked the numbers, we looked at the graphs. It didn't fund in the allotted time, so they doubled the time, and then it almost didn't fund again, and then they never show us exactly how many got made, or got ordered, I should say, right? So we don't even know how many of these are out there, but it's
Right.
just like,
Smoke and mirrors, yeah.
I mean,
Well.
could you imagine, what is it, 12,000 households having a Unicron this size? Like sometimes, I mean, I know a lot of collectors. I mean, there's probably 100 of them that I can rattle off by name and have shook hands with and talked about the hobby with and things like that. But, you know, still, that seems, I mean, it's hard to believe that there's, I don't know, like
What is it, 12,000 they
12
said? It was
120 more times that amount of people that I know that
Right.
would potentially have bought this thing. It just seems ridiculous. Like,
Well,
it's
this
hard
was the
to
second one, right? This was the second one after
Yeah.
the barge, right? Because Cookie Monster didn't get funded, and then obviously the Sentinel blew it away, right? Blew it out of the water, and the Razor Crest was a non-issue. But the sail barge, I remember us talking, and I was first one to think that that thing was going to show up in some places, right? As far as, you know, being available at retail later on,
so did
and it never did. You know,
No.
it never showed up anywhere.
Not yet.
Yeah, true. You never know, right? It could be.
I tell you, man,
it's been-
through all the complaints and all the drama, I mean, we have friends of ours who've seen this in person, right? And
Yeah.
and they have all said that it truly is like a sight to behold. Like, the thing is over 2 feet tall. Is it 3 feet tall? I can't remember how tall it is, but it's freaking tall. Like, it's huge. Like, and anything that big just really kind of takes your breath away, you know, when you see it, you know, kind of thing. It's just kind of cool. So, in some ways, I'm excited for it. In other ways, I'm like, you know, I need to fucking light a fire under my ass and
When is this shipping?
clean. It's like soon.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So,
Dom, you better send your wife to the spa, or, you know, get a massage the day that it's coming in, so
Two-
she doesn't
Two of
see
these
multiple
boxes,
boxes. Yeah.
these boxes are showing up in my house.
yeah, 2 boxes
Fuck.
like what, the size of washing machines, you know,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
pretty much.
But
Got to wash in a dryer.
imagine.
Team lift.
But you know, why does it have to be
But at the knees.
Transformers, right? Like the sail barge. I mean, I don't think anyone's like, oh, they didn't do this instead of this, right? Like, I don't remember hearing a lot of that. You know, but of course,
No, we did not.
the Transformer one comes and something's drastically changed, and of course, due to the way my algorithms on Facebook are set up, I have to see all the vitriol about it, you know, kind of stuff, which just sucks. So I hope the Sentinel comes out as expected. I hope the Razor Crest comes out as expected, and all that other stuff too. Because this, I mean, because it does kind of put a damper. It's like, wow, maybe I don't want to go in on some of this stuff before I see an actual final product, kind of thing. So,
Well, hopefully, with them making those decisions and hearing the backlashes that people are having with these small, or small in their mind, but probably big in ours. But they might reconsider making it. If it has to be changed or if it can be avoided, they'll try to avoid it next time with the next Razor Crest. Or
They don't care.
Sentinel.
They got your money, bitch.
They got your money in the bank.
Mhm.
They
What
gonna
was that?
like it, whatever.
How much
We'll
was
send
it? Like,
what? Oh,
just
what's
just
supposed
to
to be?
just to meet it was like $4.2 million.
That's what I should have bet on the Super Bowl for Bucks to win.
or
Yeah.
bet that someone was going to streak during it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not too crazy. Like I've seen this before. In this happens in regards to statues and prototypes coming out, and portraits looking a certain way, and all of a sudden it comes out and the paint's different, or the portrait doesn't look the same way that as the professional like artist proof that did it. So it's there's always backlash when things like this happen. So I bet you the Count Dooku that we got from the SH Figure Arts and how it looked, everybody was pissed off because it didn't look the way it fucking looked when they promoted it. Piece of shit toy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I guess you're right there. That's for sure.
So
It's still a thing, and it exists, and
Don't
I
remind
think
me,
that in
Gary.
its very nature. I think that in its very nature is impressive, whether you wanted it or not.
Yeah, I might have to watch the video on this after the show. The unboxing. Is it in English, Gary?
There's really no vocal on it. It's just kind of like visual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with a few subtitles, if I remember correctly, like a few things.
and they transformed the whole thing from like unpackaging and then
Partially, yeah. You can they actually pause in the middle of it and kind of said they are having some frustrations, and there's like two guys working to transform it, into robot mode together.
That's comforting.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
I don't have the second guy. Am I going to be able to transform this thing?
You won't be able to get it out of the box.
You're right. Yeah,
Nope.
exactly.
Brian, do you want to come over? Help me
Well, that's
transform
what
my Unicron?
That's what I was getting at. It almost is like, we'll have to round up people and do like a specific show, maybe like a super figure banging or something, where everybody can work together.
Oh
Dude,
my God.
If
Take it
Ace
out
invites
and
if Ace invites
transform
me
it.
over to go
Right.
help him transform his Unicron on figure banging, I'm not going. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, could you imagine Ace doing this?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
God.
I bet you will.
You're gonna need three people: one to man the camera, two guys
Right.
to like help him, take the shit out of the box and hold it up. How many pieces? What's the over under on how many pieces are gonna break on that Unicron when he does figure banging?
Oh boy.
I bet none.
That's
No.
I'm excited to hear these horror stories of people,
Oh,
transforming it and breaking things.
well, didn't they put a video out and like package security and like durability, where they like was that Hasbro or was that somebody else? Like I saw
I
a
don't
video
know.
where they were testing the box and dropping it like 3 inches off the floor. I'm like, dude, you need to drop it a little further than that.
Charlotte says it's cool and all, but Pringles are the pinnacle of chip engineering. Not so much my robots. This is great. So P.F.
Stack 'em.
Ferguson says, I want to see who gives Bobby Skullface one to transform. Well, good news, P.F. Ferguson. He bought one for himself, I believe. So, if I
Yeah,
remember
you can
correctly,
probably see
he
it.
had- that's what he mentioned on Nerd Rage, I think. I think he bought one. So, yeah, he'll be transforming his own. God, I wonder where he's gonna put this thing. Would this fit in a Maji case? I have no idea.
A special order one.
Yeah,
Just, yeah, this is Yeah, I can't wait to see it, and then I can't wait to
Sell
see
it.
it. It's
You're
gonna be
giving
on the
me away
NJCC
already,
table.
Daddy.
So, dude, just it'll bring all the people to my NJCC table.
Bring all the kids to the yard. What is that? It's $1,500.
Yeah,
Well, is
well,
it-
it's gonna
isn't
be
that-
funny.
Isn't that how you sold your first constructor, Brian? Like years ago? I didn't know
Yeah,
you guys
just-
then, but the
I
story.
I brought it
you
for
brought
fun. I wanted to show it off,
right.
but
Is
that didn't. Just, I was like, it's funny, Gary. So I brought it to basically bring attention to the table. It's the first
That's what I
time we were
remember.
selling in the
Yeah.
ROC. But yeah, no, I brought all the Constructicon boxes with me too, just in case someone wanted to buy it. Because at the same time, they had already announced the gift set with some of the changes in it. So I was like, if someone wants to make me an offer for it, I'll take it. And so someone did. And I never, I think the only thing I did was disassemble it as much as I could. I never retransformed them to put them back in the boxes. So
As is.
yeah. But it's funny, like if I do sell this NJC, it's gonna be funny to see people in one side of the room selling it for $2,500, and I'm gonna have it on my table for $600.
I'll go first.
Yeah. Except mine won't be in the box; it'll be in robot mode. It's like, there's your discount. You have to transform it.
Dude,
and
just
take that.
imagine like people like just trucking this thing into a toy convention and just have like bring it into and set it up and Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
for the people who don't bring trailers and U-Hauls and whatnot, like this would take up half
whole
my car.
Back in
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like what are you're not bringing this unless you got a fucking trailer.
Yeah, I'm not bringing it unless I'm selling it. Unless it's getting sold. Gets down to it the last day. It's like, all right, $575.
I can see Brian have it strapped onto the top of his car. It just like
Yeah.
not even in the box. He's just sitting a Unicron sitting on the top of his car.
So
Thank you. Yes, it's coming. It's coming next week. Shipping out next week.
what it is? Someone said.
No, I'm just fucking.
All right.
We're getting all,
Are we done here?
now you're gonna scare me because now every shipping notice I get, I'm gonna wonder if it's this thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we know if it's shipping FedEx or UPS or USPS or?
I don't think they ever told us what they were using.
All I know is I'm gonna watch it, man. It's like I am not gonna have that mail person waddle up my driveway to bring this to my door. I'll just meet him down at the mailbox. Like I'm here. Don't. Here, sir. Here's your big box. It says toys on it. Your big giant toys. Not that they don't know that I don't buy toys.
Box that says Hasbro Pulse, which I don't have one right now for carrying it up in your fucking doorstep.
No, it'll say HasLab on it.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah.
I
You're right.
guess. It was
I'm soon-
a
yeah,
HasLab
yeah.
thing, so.
God, could you imagine like the post office like delivery people who didn't get one and really want one and are now delivering it to people's
And now
houses
delivering
and fucking drop kicking it down the driveway?
Just imagine, like
got my toy.
just imagine, like 5 or 6 or 7 people in my area bought this thing, and in that delivery truck, there's like 8 of these things sitting in there. I can just imagine that. Like, I know there's
One
2 coming in. Like just 2 is just horrible. Like I feel bad. This is like the only thing. Like we couldn't deliver mail today because we were delivering these 2 fucking Unicron.
Oh, I
didn't
know,
have-
right?
We didn't have enough room in the truck to put everybody else's mail in, since this prick
Oh,
ordered
it's
2
like-
fucking Unicrons.
Yeah, like 3 weeks from now, you just be like, you'll see people posting in the neighborhood Facebook groups. Be like, why was there a fleet of postal vehicles this week? It's funny.
Let's see what happens.
What are all these unicorns that are getting delivered?
Unicorns. Unicorns. ridiculous.
Yeah, I think.
You guys are ridiculous.
Listen, I'm sure. You're not? Are you on the fence with buying it? On the trying to acquire this after it comes out, JD? Or are you totally out? Like this is like something that you're never going
I'm
to
good.
buy.
I'm
good?
I'm
Okay.
good, dude. I'm perfectly happy with what I have.
Awesome.
It's entirely. I mean, my only complaint is that they didn't make that Zeta one as big. That's my only complaint. Other than that, I'll be okay.
Where's the
I'll
Wing
live.
Shang?
I'll live.
Where's
And see, but that's also the novelty of it too. Like, I mean, this is the biggest one. This is the biggest one ever. Well, I guess not that
So
Lumen
was
Prime.
So was Metroplex apparently when that came out.
But now this one is. It's like, how heavy duty are those ratchets? Like, is there going to be huffing and puffing from people not being able to move the
Yes.
hips? You know, Are people. Does it come with a sweatband? Does it come with,
sweatband?
you know?
It
Does
should.
it come, does
For
it
that
come with a
price?
gallon of? Does it come with a gallon of water? How much sweat is going to be coming off of me so I can replenish?
Oh man.
It'd be interesting. It'd be fun.
Nuts. All right, guys, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
We're past Gary's time. Gary, did the cats go to bed yet?
I don't know. I kicked them out of the room, but Christina got home a little while
Yeah, they
ago,
lost.
so
They lost their privileges.
yeah, they're getting out of
Be into
control
my
here.
room.
All right. Well, where can they find you guys? Gary, where can they find you?
Yeah, best place besides here on Tuesdays is just on good old fashioned Facebook. So Gary Allen in the groups there.
And JD, where can they find you?
Yeah. Pretty much not on social media, really. But yeah, if you must. Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live. Shelf Gravy. JD Brocious in the Facebook groups. Tuesday nights here with these fine fellers. Tomorrow night, all new figure banging.
Ooh,
Tune in.
Unicorn.
tune in.
Yep.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't go betting $50,000 to guess what's being on figure banging tomorrow.
No, please
It's
don't.
not gonna pay off. Dom,
Unless
where
you're
can
Ace.
they find you, sir?
You
Yeah.
can find me. Ace will put it in that bet. Make it happen. You can find me in the groups. Dominic Rosso here Tuesday nights with you guys, and at your local toy show in New Jersey. I tend not to miss them. They're fun. But that is where you can find me.
All right, and I am at Brinklizer on Instagram. Brian Brink in the Facebook groups, and tune in again, as JD said, tomorrow for an all new figure banging. It'll be a fun time, love and hate, I believe. And don't forget to tune in Thursday for Total Package Podcast.
Total
they-
package.
They have an interesting topic that is more along the lines of collector relations, so to speak. So would be kind of interesting. I think that the topic probably hits close to home for everyone here that watches our content. Believe it or not, should be fun. Or not fun. Depends on how sensitive it gets. But the ladies will give their take, and it'll be interesting to hear their take. And let's see here. Friday, the Nerd Life Syndicate. And I think that wraps it up. Probably Dust is on vacation, so keep that bell
Notification.
selected in
Mhm.
YouTube, because you never know when he's going to show up and maybe do a little right out of the box, kind of stuff. So, and that is it. good night, everybody.
Awesome.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
See you later. Bye, people. See you tomorrow.
Say it with me now. Really?